With the Denneys. Aloha, good morning. I just realized I left my personal phone at home today. It's Thursday morning. We had yesterday off. But it's time to renew my driver's license, so we're down at the old CDL office. And in order for me to renew my license, I have to retake the hazmat test. So we did that, but we failed the eye test. I didn't realize that the glasses I've been using at work are like 5 years old. So we got the new glasses. Once I put on the new glasses, which were in my pickup truck, we had no trouble. 20/20 vision. Well, I didn't even realize that the glasses I use at work, which are a little more substantial, are as old as they are. But anyway, we did a load of a plastic product down to the plastic distributor and stood by and offloaded. Took the empty to the shipping terminal. Now we're hooked up to our third container movement of the day. Full 40-foot container full of restaurant kitchen equipment. We're putting in a new Denney's in Wakiki, so that's where we're headed. I delivered some mill work to them probably like 6 months ago. And every time I go into Wakiki, I look at the building, because it used to be an old steakhouse before. It was Tony Roma's. So it doesn't look like there's much progress going on the outside, but that probably only takes a day or two to fix. Must be working more on the inside. So yeah, we got the new kitchen basically. Headed down to Wakiki. Good run. I always enjoy going into Wakiki. It's a little bit tight for a tractor trailer, but it's an exciting part of the outing. Breaker bar. There we go. Making our way off Sand Island. Yeah, I meant to bring one of my older mounts for the GoPro. It's a mount that I used to use when I was using my Canon Sure Shot. And I've never used it with the GoPro, I don't think. But I thought it would be interesting to try it, but I forgot that. Forgot my cell phone. I just didn't want to come to work today. But we do have another beautiful day in Hawaii. It started off a little chilly. I think it was like 65 this morning when I woke up. But it's at least 80. It's got to be at least 73, 74 right now. It's warming up. It's going up to a high of 81. Typical winter weather here in Hawaii. We get two different weather patterns during the winter months. We get the what you might call a high pressure or very clear skies, sunny, humidity usually 65 to 72, somewhere around there. Very comfortable. And then we have the gloomy, rainy weather. Again, the highs are the same thing, 81, 82, but the humidity goes way up, like 85%. So it actually feels hot, even though it's very gloomy. So the bright, sunny days are usually the cooler days. Cooler feeling, even though the temperature is the same. Just the humidity that changes. Kind of interesting. I tell people the weather in Hawaii is basically same old, day in, day out. It takes about a second or two to get used to it. Make our merge onto Nimitz Highway here. Now we don't really want to be in this lane because this lane is going to back up for freight going into the inter-island shipping terminal. It's hard to get into another lane. So we used the last egg in the house yesterday, and there is a very big egg shortage in Hawaii. Probably, sounds like it's everywhere. You can still get eggs. Eggs still come in, but you gotta wait in line. I do all my shopping at Costco. If I wanted to get eggs, I'd have to show up at Costco when they open the door and wait in line with everyone else as they rush the egg department. Because by half an hour after Costco opens, the eggs are gone. And I'm not a person that likes waiting in line, so I think I'll just wait until the egg situation works itself out. We'll have cereal instead. A little toasted butter. Usually during the work days, I don't eat eggs, but on my days off, like the weekends and the Wednesdays, I usually have a couple eggs. Not anymore for a while. Can we get out of this lane? That's what I want to know. Typical Mondays and Thursdays in the morning. This is pretty typical. This is all backed up going into the inter-island shipping terminal. To rebuild Lahaina, but it was like this before that. little fog in the air today. Fog, V-O-G. It's a volcanic fog. It looks a lot like smog, but it's produced by a volcano instead of by cars. Like we have today. Usually occurs when the winds are really light. We got like 0 wind today, so. February is when the mango trees start blooming. This island is covered with mango trees. Mango pollen is very irritating to some, like myself. So I wake up in the morning and I sneeze for like half an hour. I tell myself, hey, you gotta get the sinus system a little workout every now and then, you know? After that, it bothers me now and then, but you know, almost 65, I've been dealing with it for years. Try not to let it slow me down. I also live with cats. I have 4 cats and I'm allergic to cats. Like I said, you got to get that immune system and allergies a little workout every now and then just to keep the body strong. This is also where the new railroad is going to be installed, hopefully sometime in my lifetime. So it's under construction. It's been like this for 10 years maybe. You gotta remember that Hawaii is the most democratic state in the United States. We are 100% Democrat and 100% corrupt. That's what happens when you get the absolute power, and it corrupts you absolutely. So we have a railroad system being built that was supposed to cost $5 billion in 5 years. Put in 20 miles of railroad. We are 15 years into it, and $15 billion in budget. So we're over in time and money, 3 times what it was originally supposed to cost. You ask them where the money went and nobody knows, you know, it's just like it's a real scam on the taxpayers of Hawaii. Along with that, we have the least amount of roads of any state in the United States as far as number of roads and miles of roads. And our roads are in the worst condition compared to any state in the United States. Least amount of roads, worst condition. How does that happen? So yeah, this section right here is pretty beat up. For 7 years. New York City is the second most democratic place in the United States. Hawaii is Virgin Islands, which is also 100% Democrat. I haven't been there for years and years, but from what my brothers tell me, it really hasn't gotten much better, even though technology has finally made its way to the Virgin Islands. It's just that. And you can't beat the lifestyle. You can't beat the lifestyle. I had this conversation with my sister just this last weekend. We were on the phone for about an hour, and she couldn't understand why I left the family and moved to Hawaii. And you know, what was in Hawaii that drew me away from my family in New York? That's where my mom, my sister, my brother, they all lived in New York. My dad lived in Washington State. My stepdad lived in the Caribbean, in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And so what was the draw to Hawaii? And I was used to seeing the corruption, so that didn't bother me. And I would have to say, above all else, the thing that, after growing up in the Caribbean and then living in New York, the thing that drew me to Hawaii more than anything else was the weather. I just really enjoy the fact that it's February and it's going to be 81 degrees outside and sunshine like it is today. To me, that just makes life so much easier. Even if you do have to pay a little bit of a paradise tax for bumpy roads and all the other things that make living in Hawaii hard. As far as I'm concerned, Hawaii is the easiest place I've ever lived compared to New York and the Virgin Islands. So I guess it all depends on what you're comparing it to. You know, if you're going to compare it, you have to compare it to something, right? Just finishing that one, and now they're going to put another one right in front of it. The trick is to build these high rises so everybody has a view. So they face them, was it east-west? One side of the building gets the sunrise, and the other side of the building gets the sunset. And everybody gets an angle to the ocean. All these buildings off here to the left have all gone up in the last 20 years. There's more to come. You can see the tower cranes. Got 1, 2, just 2. These tower cranes, once they get done with the job, they basically just move across the street and start all over again. I remember when I moved to Hawaii. I moved to Hawaii in 1987, and in 1987 there were 14 tower cranes in Wakiki working. There was a bit of a construction boom back then. And that's how it goes. It gets busy and then slows down. It gets busy and then slows down. I think Waikiki is primarily for visitors that come for a week. These high rises are for visitors that come for probably months of the year. It's like a second home. Because many times you come down here at night, not even half the lights are on in the building as far as, you know, people being home. Well, I'm sure the government's getting a nice little tax on these big buildings. Man, got things narrowed down to one lane. That's not good. This is one of the main arteries in Waikiki. Beach Park on the right, #1 beach on the island as far as the locals are concerned. Sits just outside of Waikiki. It's right across the street from the Ala Moana Shopping Center, the largest outdoor shopping center in the United States. Ala Moana Beach Park. And if you're wondering what makes this beach a little bit nicer than most, first of all, it's right here in the city. Right in downtown Honolulu, surrounded by all these big high-rise hotels. During the week, it's rarely crowded because the tourists don't go to it. I drove tour buses for 10 years. I was rarely, if ever, asked, where's the best beach on the island? What makes Ala Moana Beach so great is it's completely protected by a barrier reef on the outside, so it's like swimming in a big, huge bathtub. As a result, the water doesn't circulate around quite as much, and as a result, the water temperature there today is 82 degrees. That's water temperature. Right now, the water is warmer than the air. Stays a nice sandy bottom. Right across from the mall here. I was at home the other day and I was watching an oldies channel with these old Elvis movies. I just put it on not because I wanted to watch it, but my wife loves it. And she was out in the office and I knew if I put it on, oh, what's this? Elvis. And the movie was called Girls, Girls, Girls. It's one of the old ones, I think it's like 1957. And he's supposedly a captain for a charter company for a sailboat and fishing charters. And a lot of the opening scenes in that movie were filmed right here at the Alawai Yacht Club to the right of us. When you go over this bridge, you can see this area. It's changed a lot because there was a lot of dredging going on back then. But this is also where the opening scenes to Gilligan's Island is filmed. And when you watch that opening scenes, that was filmed right there. But it's It's changed a little bit in the years, of course. Back then, the Alawai Canal didn't have as many bridges over it. And all along the Alawai Canal, there were little docks where people would tie up their boats. Now the only place you can tie up the boat is in the marinas. They took away the little docks that were along the Alawai back then. But now we're in Wakiki. This is the heart of our tourist industry. On any given day of the year, there's 100,000 visitors here in Wakiki. Hotels, condominiums, timeshares. You got a representation of all three right in front of you. Straight ahead, timeshare to the right, hotel to the left, apartment buildings. So it's a peninsula. It's surrounded by water on three sides. We just came over a bridge. So we're like at the tip of the peninsula. And if we continue 2 miles in this direction, you get to the base of the peninsula, which is where the zoo is located. So the beach is to the right of us, about a block. And then the Alawai Canal, which is a man-made canal creating the peninsula, is to the left of us, about 4 blocks. And where we are right now is the widest section of Waikiki, and as we head towards Diamond Head, it gets more and more narrow. Where it goes from, it's almost 5 blocks wide here, it narrows down to about 3 blocks. 2.5 maybe. 2 big blocks at the base. Trying to make their deliveries before 10 o'clock. After 10 it gets really congested. It's 9 right now. If you're staying in Waikiki, driving around is a bit of a hardship because there's no place to park. So it's very much a walking town. And again, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Most people are probably inside having breakfast right now. If you really want to see the sidewalks packed, you got to come in the evening between 6 and 9. Typical tourist wakes up around 5 in the morning because they're on mainland time. They rummage around trying to find a cup of coffee. They usually end up going to breakfast between 6 and 9. Then they usually rent a car or go on a tour or, you know, somehow get out of Waikiki and go explore the island, which is probably the #1 thing you want to do. See the rest of the island while you're here. Go to one of the many beaches on the island, do some snorkeling, maybe some hiking to a waterfall, visit Chinatown, go into the historical district. Why is the only state that had a monarchy before it became a state? That's kind of interesting. Hawaii is also one of the few states that went from the Stone Age to the Space Age in 200 years. Vroom. A lot of change very, very quickly. So that's kind of interesting. We have one of the most diverse ethnic cultures to be found in the United States. There's no real majority of any one person, people. Straight ahead, that's gonna be the new Denney's. I'm guessing they're gonna want us to back into that driveway. Of course, we got a truck right across from the driveway, which is, we're not going to be able to do it as long as that truck is there. It looks like a telephone truck. So we'll pull up alongside, see what they want to do. Looks like they painted the place since the last time I looked at it. Last time I came down here, it looked like kind of grungy. Oh yeah, they've even put in new flowers around, cleaned up the garbage a little bit. Traffic, we'll do that. Sounds good.
okay. Okay, go. Go. Okay.
Alright. All done. It's 9:13. Yeah, bobtailing in Waikiki. You got here at 9:05. And Gene signed for it. I think that's the only thing he knows how to say in English. Tempo. Like it. All this construction in here, all the new telephones, looks like getting that, what do you call it? Optic cable involved and installed. So yeah, here's the Alawai Canal that creates the peninsula. Alawai, Ala, Hawaiian, that means pathway. Hawaii means fresh water. The pathway of fresh water. For the most part, it's brackish water, but it does drain this area. This was all marshland and rice paddies before the Alawai was dug. As a result, the land's dry enough to build on, but the highest landmass in Waikiki is just 7 feet above sea level. So when we get hurricanes, which I have seen this, that hit Hawaii and raise the ocean as high as 5-6 feet, most of Waikiki streets go underwater, and all the underground parking lots fill up with water. It's quite a sight. You can actually go boogie boarding down the down the streets here in Waikiki in a hurricane. I know, because I've done it. Anyway, dispatch says he's got an empty container or the foreign trade zone, so we're going to head over there, pick up the empty, and take it back to the shipping terminal. Making our way to our next one. Well, that That's it. We're gonna shut it down. It's been a day. Air conditioning off. Radio off. Lights are off. The engine is off. It's another very busy day for me. We came in at 6. We'll be out of here at 5. It's like 4:40 right now. I think we did 12 movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. We drove 112 miles. So driving-wise, it was pretty easy. We bobtailed 4 times. So good dispatching. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fulls, 6 empties. Pretty good day. Headed home. It started raining about, I don't know, an hour and a half ago. My wife just called me. She says she's headed home. Do you want to make that soup that we made the other night again? This will be the 3rd time. I says, yeah, if it stays rainy like this, it sounds good. So headed home to make vegetable broth, onions, mushrooms, carrots, chow sum, which is like a Chinese broccoli, shrimp dumplings, and some really thick egg pasta. That's how we made it. It was good. I think we'll do it again. But that is it for today. Thanks for watching. Aloha.